listen, this even maybe this is this is this is kind of like a continuation of having a meeting with my shop steward, and the fact that he kept telling me, if you don't know something, ask. You know, that's implying that I'm stupid, I don't know my craft, or I'm not too smart to understand certain and simple things. And this is an indictment you're leveling on me that I'm pretty much void of knowledge of electrical work. Okay, and that's not a good rumor to have or spread around. It's almost telling somebody or telling someone that you're a child molester or something. That is not really good. That even if you're not, do you know the stigma of that? It sticks almost forever. It clouds people's judgment forever of you. I wish the shops would have handled this little meeting we had today, which is January 15, 2026, like around 11:40 a.m. Because it's a it's not good in the electrical world, and I think the foreman, the sub foreman, started that, and he knew what he was doing when he told him that. And I'm sure this foreman has said that to a lot of people on my job, on this job, my job, same thing, same interchangeable play of words. I don't know how to express, but you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't say things like that without proof because of one little mistake, especially when it comes to wire sizes and grounding. And you told me to do that, to put a wire 3 times the size. Well, not really 3 times, but pretty much close enough. No, I shouldn't say close enough, but let's say a much bigger wire size to grounding bushings. Or for something as that petty and small, which was your fault, you know it in your heart, how small it may be. You know that you told me to put the three all ground wire to each of the bushings, MIG 4-inch bushings. You told me that. Now maybe I wasn't dumb, but I shouldn't have done it. But I didn't really listen because on one hand I said, well, maybe there's a reason for it. He said that he kept saying it over and over, and I questioned him. Then I questioned the shop guys, and they said no, which I should have listened to them. But yeah, they did say you shouldn't have done it, but nobody called him to tell him what I was doing after installing almost 10 MIG bushings with 3 all ground wire, and then spreading false rumors that I'm stupid. I knew what I was doing. I did it literally all on my own. I just took it upon myself to ground out each bushing without anybody telling me or instructing me to do so. And I took upon myself to how you call it, to select the wire size for it. So either A, you know I'm stupid all along, and you didn't explain the proper instructions, or B, you're just making it up because you made a mistake, and you don't want to be blamed for it. Which one? Please tell me which one. And he's doing this sneaky shit because he knows he's about to retire soon, and he knows that I won't ever see him again to curse his ass out if he ever becomes a worker anywhere. You know what, too? Another question: how can you be labeled stupid after being in the electrical union for 25 years and been on this particular job for 6 months and be labeled stupid? How did I get by all these years? Or or in working for this particular company, How could it have lasted this long? Under his rule. So this got to be like a personal issue with this dude against me. And everybody's taking it as I'm stupid. I don't think some would believe that on the job, but most of them do. Because I think they know how this guy is. You understand what's going on here or no? I just thought I'd add this in addition to what I've stated earlier about this situation. It's starting to get on my nerves. How people could just label you something over something frivolous as some ground wire size that wasn't my fault per se. You know what I'm saying? It's getting that silly and cynical out there. I'm still perplexed that the shop steward even validates a claim like that without questioning him thoroughly. Why would you bring this to a shop steward's attention for? That's what should have been asked. Or something that could be easily mitigated and evaluated, and could have been stopped before it got even further. Usually, a job that big or something like that should have been monitored. Not monitored what it was by the goon squad of the foreman, but should have been caught before it got even further or before it even got worse. Like I said, it was deliberate. It was intentional. All right, it was a setup, and it was meant to humiliate me in front of a large group of people. And it was also designed by the foreman, I'm sure, and by some of his goons, especially when I stole my pencils, and I couldn't do nothing about it unless I really get fired or go to jail or both. But it was also designed and executed so he have a reason and grounds to give me a bad layoff, which has serious consequences for employment, future employment, medical benefits, other benefits, and a blemish on my record. And he knows what he's doing. He has some psychological, emotional need to hurt me in some way or shape and form. To hurt me, he got some, what's that what I'm looking for? When you're obsessed with somebody so bad that you start doing stupid shit to them because you got the power to do so. And by the way, this situation it took place in New York City, Manhattan, New York, or just Manhattan, Upper East Side. All right, just give you some context, pretext, and some context of where it took place at. All right, I don't want to get names and identity right now, but hopefully somebody out there will be able to figure it out on their own. Well, I guess that's all I have to say for right now on this subject. If there is anything more that I need or have to say, I'll get back to you in my ongoing series of an audio diary of being an electrician, a union electrician in New York City, New York, Manhattan. Well, New York City, period. Sorry. Thank you for watching, listening, subscribing, liking, and commenting. Thank you again.